Hi guys, it's Anya, the illustration girl here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my video 3 steps to get hired as an illustrator. When I graduated from college, I didn't really know about how to make my portfolio hireable, how to approach clients and how to choose one specific niche of illustration. Over the years, I went on to getting signed by an illustration agency. I worked with an agency for a few years and I've managed to secure contracts with really big publishers. Find Your Fears with Imagination Press, a picture book which I authored and illustrated for a Chinese publisher. Make a Face, Pit Penguin Gets Lost. There's also Minimal, which is one of my favorite projects for UK sustainability blogger Madeline Olivia, and this was for Penguin Random House. So today I want to talk to you how to understand what the illustration industry is about and then how to actually get hired by a big client, like a dream client of yours. But before we start, I want you to actually think about, ideally, in an ideal world, if everything was possible, where would you like to work in illustration? Would you like to see your work in magazines? Do you like to illustrate food, or do you like to work with some brands? Or maybe you love picture books and you love drawing for children. Maybe you love creating your own imaginary worlds. So have a think about it and just maybe write it down in your notes before you listen to this video. Where do you see yourself in the massive world of illustration? So let's begin. 4 main niches of illustration, the main areas that exist in illustration are as follows. The first one that comes to mind, probably like a really huge one, is book illustration. So in book illustration we have picture books and also we have adult books. There's actually a lot of different kinds of books for children, and these books are very heavily illustrated because kids love to see images, they love to see imaginary concepts which are hard to express by photography. In adult books you get much less illustration and they're very specific. So if you love book illustration, I recommend that you concentrate on children's books, like board books, which are for younger children and babies from 0 to 3. In board books you get really bright, bold imagery and it has to be quite easy to understand for the little ones. Then there is picture books. And these are books that can have narrative or they might not. They're for children from 3 to 7 years old. There is also non-fiction, illustrated non-fiction, which is a really popular genre these days, and you should definitely check it out if you're interested in illustration for kids. And also there is young adults for teenagers and slightly older kids who still want to read text, but they still need to see some pictures. And I illustrated a book for young adults, which is this book, and what you will find in these books, you always get a colorful cover, but you actually get black and white images on the inside. And these are some of the illustrations I did. You also have another niche, which is magazines or editorial. Editorial illustration is very different from picture book illustration. And editorial illustration is all about different lifestyle things that you can draw. It can do with mindfulness, fitness, or anything to do with how people live. And mostly it's actually illustration for women. So a lot of topics that relate to women, they're really, really good for your portfolio. Another topic that's popular with illustration in magazines or editorial is political illustration or illustrating some interesting concepts. It can be scientific illustration, it can be something to do with law or any type of subject that you can think about. If you are interested in magazine illustration, I suggest that you find an article that you are interested in and try to come up with a visual for that article. Niche number 3 is illustration for brands and advertising. So many brands obviously need to have visual identity, they want to make products, and they usually approach a graphic design or advertising agency to come up with visuals for them. So you will actually be probably hired by a graphic designer within a graphic design agency or an art director in an advertising agency if you want and if you choose to work for these fields. And number 4 is art licensing, which is a great niche because it can be supplementary to any other niche that you do. Art licensing means printing your patterns or your visuals on different products that then go on to be sold in different shops, retailers. And if you want to work with art licensing, you can do so through an agent. You can approach different companies with your designs directly. It can be greeting cards, it can be different homeware products, or even patterns for fabric or clothes. And also, what you can do is you can use different stock websites where you can upload your images and then you get a little percentage when someone buys the rights to use your image. So websites like Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, there's different stock websites. There's also websites like Pattern Bank just for pattern designs. There's Spoonflower and loads of other things. So number 1 in your process of getting hired, now that we know all the different niches of illustration, is to choose where exactly do you want to see your work. Because for each of these different categories, you need to have a completely different portfolio. And you need to be very clear with yourself where exactly in the industry you see your work. One of the mistakes I made when I was starting out was that I just liked to draw and I drew completely different things in completely different styles, and I didn't realize how these different works can work in the industry. So I wasn't actually getting anywhere. And only when I kind of made a decision that for now I'm going to concentrate on picture books, I was able to first of all secure a contract with a picture book publisher in US called POW Kids, and then I was able to get an agent who then helped me to find more picture book jobs. But it only happened when I created a portfolio that was suitable for that particular niche. So really go around, go to the shops, see different books and get a feel of what exactly would you like to do. This is something for you to think about. The next step after you've chosen your niche is to create a portfolio. In your portfolio, you should have at least, I would say, about 20 to 30 strong images. They all need to be in one clear style. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to use the same material or the same colors, although it may help you to do that. If you have any questions at all, you can feel free to post the questions in the comments and also subscribe to my Instagram. Once you've got your portfolio ready, step number 3 is to actually send it out to prospective customers. You can do it 2 ways. Number 1 is to try and find freelance work yourself through freelance websites like Upwork or Fiverr. I have never worked on these websites, but I know many people who do, so it's totally up to you if you want to try. The second way is to actually send your portfolio to professional organizations like publishers, magazines, etc. How you can do that is you can go on a great website called AOI, it's an association of illustrators, and you can buy a list of contacts for a particular industry that you're interested in. So you can buy, for example, a list of editorial contacts, or you can buy a list of publishing contacts or advertising contacts. And all you need to do is get the email, write a really good email pitch, and pitch your portfolio and pitch yourself as an illustrator. And you know, sometimes if you don't get a reply straight away, it can be quite disheartening, but remember that it takes time and it can take years. Like for me, it took 10 years from graduating from university to getting a steady career going. and in between that I was doing some other things. But it doesn't mean that you're going to take that long, but just don't think that it will happen overnight, because it might happen overnight, but it might not. But don't get discouraged. Just keep working on your portfolio. If you can, ask feedback from people who reply to you, or just ask your peers. You can also join the AOI, Association of Illustration. There's an equivalent in America as well. And basically try to keep your eyes open and learn as much as you can. See what you like in the books, magazines and branded products. See the type of soft styles you like, create mood boards, and just keep progressing and keep trying, keep pushing, and I'm sure that eventually you will get to a point where you will get commissioned. And I really hope that I helped you out today, guys, and just stay safe and go for it.